Welcome to Schmitt Tonight, commercial free on this Tuesday night. The first time you saw Fulton County DA Fani Willis speak about her case against Trump for election interference in Georgia, you likely noticed her general incompetence. In August, Willis held a press conference after the grand jury indicted Trump in Georgia, and Fani Willis butchered the names of the people that she was indicting. Probably the first time she had seen some of those names. It was clear that night that Fani Willis was not the brains of this operation, but she was great for the optics. The Biden White House's dream narrative, a radically left, empowered black female DA going up against the evil white billionaire ex-president. And I say the White House's dream optics because we all know who's really running this multi-pronged operation to destroy Donald Trump. It's Joe Biden, his close circle, with some help from the Department of Justice. Today, opposition research firm Marco Polo released some incredible documents that are as of yet still unverified by Newsmax, but we're working on it. They show Fani Willis's hand-selected special prosecutor, private attorney Nathan Wade, allegedly billing Fulton County for 2 meetings with the White House. $250 an hour for his services, one of those meetings in May, and then one in November of 2022, just 3 days after Donald Trump announced his candidacy for president. It's evidence the White House is engaged in a conspiracy to take down Joe Biden's primary 2024 opponent, something that has long been suspected in all 4 cases against Donald Trump, but also has always been denied.
This is not something that is a focus for him.
We do not interfere. We do not get briefed. We do not get involved.
No, the president was not briefed, was not aware of it. No one at the White House was given a heads up. No, that did not happen.
They know nothing. This isn't the first time we've seen evidence of this conspiracy. Special counsel Jack Smith, the partisan in charge of proving Trump mishandled classified documents and engaged in insurrection, also met with Biden staffers before indicting Trump. As you can see, the rules are now out the window. There are no rules any longer. These are things that if Trump had done them, if Trump had done these things to, say, Joe Biden back in 2020, the media would have been screaming we're living under a fascist regime and thousands of D.C. bureaucrats would be working to save our democracy from Trump. It'd be on the cover of every magazine. Your phone would explode. There's more evidence of this corruption in New York. Recall that Alvin Bragg hired ex-DOJ official Michael Colangelo to assist in his case. Colangelo had just left his post as the 3rd highest-ranking official at the Department of Justice. He was installed personally by Joe Biden. And then he headed to New York to help Alvin Bragg convince Americans that Trump should be in prison over a payment to a porn star 8 years ago. Yeah. All of this is coordinated at the very top, a full-throttle effort to destroy the man who wants to dismantle the rot of the U.S. government, and the government, as you'd expect, is fighting back like we've never seen and fighting for Joe Biden, breaking every rule and decorum along the way, counting on a complicit media to save them. A media that the White House is now attempting to train better. Semaphore reporting the Biden campaign is inviting journalists on off-the-record trips to the team's headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware, to meet top officials, including the campaign manager, deputies, and other senior advisors, and hitting them with propaganda so they can more accurately report the greatness of our supreme leader. Because it's not that Biden's presidency has been bad, it's just that the media hasn't done an effective enough job at helping Biden break through to the voters.
Poll after poll shows that the broadly great economic news and the significant accomplishments of the first few years of the Biden administration hasn't really broken through.
My problem is that we have not been able to break through that MAGA wall.
And I think even Joe Biden's staunchest supporters will acknowledge there's been a real communication breakdown, that his team and the president himself have struggled selling his accomplishments.
It's a communication breakdown. Everybody relax. The White House is kicking butt. They just need a better comms team. They're all so uniform as they say it, too. Imagine the Biden administration thinking that they have a messaging problem. That's the problem. It's the messaging. It's not the, it's not the Marxism, it's the messaging, I guess. We see this hysterical excuse all the time on Twitter. Biden surrogates complaining the media is too pro-Trump. The media is too pro-Trump. One example, a New York Times headline stating Trump seems less vulnerable on abortion than other Republicans. Just the fact the New York Times didn't have a headline that bashed Trump, the Biden surrogates immediately went insane. The Times piece wrote this piece in recognition of Trump's moderate stance on abortion. That's why they wrote this piece. He's less vulnerable on abortion than other Republicans because Trump appears to be somewhere in that 12 to 15-week range. He hasn't said it explicitly yet, but that's where it seems like he's going to fall. And that's where the largest subsection of the country exists, by the way. It's a dramatically cut back from the barbarism of Roe versus Wade, but not overcorrecting to the point of a heartbeat ban that does scare off a large majority of Americans. The Times puts this piece up, and because it's not basically the New York Times telling all of its readers that Donald Trump is Hitler, two Biden staffers completely flip out over this story, claiming that Trump brags about repealing Roe versus Wade, alleging the New York Times is carrying Donald Trump's water. Can you imagine thinking that the New York Times is working to help Donald Trump beat Joe Biden? It is complete and utter delusion, and we see it all over the place. Anything short of total control of their narrative, because, again, we're dealing with the far radical left. They're used to having complete and total control of the narrative. It's the only way they can control a society because nobody actually wants what they're bringing to a society. So they're used to having total control of the media and the narrative. When they don't have that, it means the media is anti-Biden. If the media is not fully complicit with their agenda, they're anti-Biden. And so now these same people are working to train the media to be fully Biden compliant, at least according to Semaphore.